All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to uncover those simple, everyday mistakes that are just quietly wrecking your ChatGPT results. I mean, if you've ever found yourself staring at a screen, wondering why the AI isn't giving you the brilliant, game-changing insights you were hoping for, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are breaking down the absolute most common slip-ups people make when using this technology. And honestly, if you fix even just 2 or 3 of the things we cover today, I guarantee you'll notice a massive difference in your very next conversation. So, let's start here. Why do your answers feel so average? You've probably seen folks out there getting results that honestly feel almost unfair, right? It's super frustrating. But look, let me validate that frustration for you right off the bat. It is absolutely not the subscription plan you're paying for. And it is for sure not some ultra secret prompt hack that you just haven't discovered yet. The reason your answers might feel kind of mediocre is actually something much, much simpler. And almost everyone does it completely without realizing. Okay, here's the hard truth. The tool isn't the bottleneck. You are. Now, hey, don't take that personally. It's not because you're bad at this. It's simply because nobody ever sat us down and actually taught us how a language model thinks. We tend to project human understanding onto it, but at its core, it's really just a massive pattern matching machine. It gives you exactly as much as you give it. It operates on a very strict rule. Vague in equals vague out. And that single foundational fact, that explains almost every single mistake we are going to look at today. So let's get into it with mistake number 1, the Google search trap. This is literally the single most common mistake out there. People type a tiny, fragmented question into the AI exactly like they're Googling something. They type a fragment like best marketing strategy or how to lose weight. But here's the thing. Google's job is to return links to information that already exists, right? It knows what's out there, and your job is to click and filter. ChatGPT, on the other hand, generates an answer from scratch, based only on your instructions. It is not a mind reader. If you don't give it direction, it just has to guess, and it will guess with total confidence, giving you a fluent, well-formatted, but completely generic, boring answer. Now, the fix for this is honestly embarrassingly simple. Let's look at the difference between 2 basic approaches. Instead of the vague best marketing strategy, try adding some real context. Try something like, I run a 3-person skincare brand with a $500 monthly ad budget, targeting women 25 to 35. What's the highest leverage marketing move I should make this month? Adding that context completely changes the tool you are using. You instantly transition from getting a generic textbook definition to receiving a targeted, strategic consultation. Same exact tool, completely different quality of answer. Moving right along, here is mistake number 2, accepting the first answer. Most folks just ask one question, read the response, and boom, they move on. They treat that first output like it's the final verdict. Honestly, that's like asking someone a really complex question, hearing their very first thought out loud, and just walking away without ever following up. You have to think of it less like asking a librarian for a book and more like working with an editor. Nobody in the world expects a first draft of a novel or a business plan or an ad campaign to be absolutely perfect on try one. And you absolutely should not expect that from ChatGPT's first reply either. And this is exactly where the magic happens, through a simple iteration workflow. Internal AI research actually proves that follow-up refinement consistently and vastly outperforms the one-and-done approach. Why? Because each round of feedback narrows down the AI's guesswork. Pushing back, telling it to make this shorter, be more specific, or give me 3 alternatives, isn't you nagging the tool, you are executing the exact workflow it was designed for. You get the initial draft, you push back, and then you get the final output. Okay. Mistake number 3, trusting it blindly on facts. Listen, the AI can state completely, entirely false things with the exact same confident tone it uses for real facts. It doesn't actually know when it's wrong because it isn't fact-checking itself against reality in real time. This is a known, well-documented behavior, and it's called a hallucination. The model generates polished, plausible, but entirely made-up information. It'll just invent a quote from a famous book that sounds perfectly in character, but literally doesn't exist. This isn't a rare glitch in the matrix. This is simply how the model operates. Its primary job is to sound statistically coherent, not to verify the truth. So this brings us to an absolutely crucial golden rule, the one that really separates the careful power users from the careless ones. Always double-check your statistics, legal specifics, medical dosages, citations, and dates. Basically anything you plan to act on, whether it involves money, health, legal decisions, or something you're going to cite in front of your boss or your audience, it must be verified against a real external source. By all means, use the AI to draft, structure, and explain complex ideas, but never, ever use it as your sole source of truth for anything that carries real weight. Next up is mistake number 4, starting from zero every time. So many people just open a brand new chat window for every single task they do. And when you do that, the AI has absolutely no memory of who you are, what your current project is, or what your preferred writing style looks like. Skipping context is literally like walking into your office and introducing yourself to the exact same coworker every single morning as if you'd never met them before. Sure, it technically works, you can eventually get the job done, but it's needlessly slow and you end up typing out the exact same background information day after day after day. So, how do we stop doing this? We build what we call running context. First off, just keep a running conversation open for your ongoing long-term projects so the AI actually remembers the history. Second, maintain a saved block of text, maybe a little background bio on your business or your goals that you can just quickly copy and paste right at the start of a new session. And finally, take advantage of those persistent instruction features that a lot of tools offer now. You can tell the AI once, hey, always write in a professional, concise tone, and it remembers forever. It saves you from having to re-explain yourself endlessly. All right, bringing it all together. Conclusion, unlocking a new tool. At the end of the day, it really all comes down to 4 simple habits. Provide deep context instead of treating it like a search bar. Iterate and push back on those initial drafts, just like a tough editor would. Always verify critical facts so you don't get burned by hallucinations. And build running context so you aren't starting from scratch every time. The gap between people who just don't get much out of this technology and the people who use it to genuinely save hours of their time every single week, it was never about having special access. It was always just about adopting these 4 habits. So I'm going to leave you with this one final provocative thought to carry into your very next prompt. Will you continue to use this incredibly powerful tool as a simple search engine, or will you step up and start treating it as your dedicated editor? Remember, the AI is just a mirror reflecting your input. Change what you give it, and you'll completely change what you get out of it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Now get out there and put these habits to work.